Good afternoon. Am I speaking with Mr. Flabby?
Dear Flabby, I've got a question for you. I have a little problem, so what should I do? I'm just a 16-year-old guy, I'm feeling a hurt. My friends and my wife says I'm an alcoholic. My skin is on the closet, just cut off my opinion. I really started missing it. Dear Flabby.
I recently lost my job for phone use on the floor. I worked in a sausage factory and I get completely why I was fired, and it's what's made this a million times worse because I knew better and did it anyway. God, this person writes like a child. I've been looking for work ever since, sure, but I can't eat or find joy in things I usually love. I'm so depressed because it was a great job. I'm mad, more money than anywhere else I've been, and I fear there's no job as good as that job. I've been fired 7 times in my life now, and I'm only 29. I feel like a failure. Doug, you've said you had a bunch of jobs and lost them. How did you help yourself get out of depression? I think you took a writing class, didn't you? Wasn't that the first thing you did?
So when I was in the period of my life where I was getting fired all the time,
Mhm.
I was also drunk and didn't care. Like I never got depressed about getting fired. Like that was cool that I didn't have to go to work the next day.
That's sweet. No more work. What's the longest you went without a job when you needed a job? I mean, not from the time that you were a kid.
Probably 2 years, I think.
Really? Like in one stretch?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now I was still drunk all the time, so I was making money, like shaking my ass or whatever. But
nice. This was back before OnlyFans. So.
Like I can remember me and my unemployed buddy Jason. We were trying to figure out how we were going to get drunk that day, so we had the idea. This is how fucking desperate we were. This is so fucking stupid when I think about it as a grown up.
It's like
there's an avenue that runs the length of the city that I used to live in. And we knew that there was a bunch of businesses up there. So we thought people go to businesses, go to the ATM. There's a chance that if somebody goes to the ATM, they're going to drop some money on accident. So we should go check.
We should go check. That sounds like a solid business plan. So how much did you get?
Never got anything.
Oh, you did it more than once. Awesome. So where were you living? How were you living? Like, were you living with somebody or?
So I donated a lot of plasma. That would get me, I could donate my plasma and I would be able to buy a fifth, 2 packs of cigarettes and dinner, which would get me drunk for the night. I would generally have to take it somewhere where they had something for me to mix it in, but because I wouldn't have any more money. And I think if I can remember right, I could do that. Like there was periods where you could do it like, I want to say 3 times in 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember the scheduling of it, but I know there were times where they wouldn't allow you to do it for say a week.
Yeah.
So then I would mow grass, work through a temp service that paid.
Okay.
If you work that day, you get paid that day.
Yep. Wow. Huh. So what was the question?
I was such a piece of shit.
I already forgot what the question was. Oh, this guy got fired because he didn't know how to write.
I can remember. So there was a long period there where I would sleep at my mom's house. And like, I don't know why my dad did not punch me in the face like over and over again. Cause he's getting up for work every day at 3 o'clock in the morning to be at work at 4 o'clock and work a 12-hour day in the fucking factory. Right.
Yeah. And
I just flat out, I'm not working. I don't want to work. Yeah. Why work when I can eat and drink here? I've got a nice bed. Like I'm still sleeping in my car bed from when I was a kid, but that's different. That doesn't matter.
Vroom, vroom. I love this car bed.
And it got to a point where like he started being a dick. My dad did.
Okay.
Okay, like looking back, rightfully so. But
Yep.
at the time, I didn't understand.
Uh-huh.
And I would come in the house drunk at like 3:30, 4 o'clock as he's walking out the door to go to work.
Oh my
I'm
God.
stumbling in drunk.
Uh,
Or even worse, I had come home around midnight or so
uh-huh.
and then just went to the fridge and started drinking his beer. So he wakes up in the
Oh,
morning to go to work and I've got beer cans and smoking my mom's Capri cigarettes because I couldn't afford my own.
sweet.
You don't know low until you're looking through the ashtrays for old Capri cigarettes to smoke.
Jesus Christ. Oh, that's horrible. That's terrible. How did you end up? This is something I guess I've always wondered. How did you end up working at a factory where you would actually learn a trade? Like, how did you? Is it just because that's so prevalent, or, where you were at?
Let's see. How did that happen? Like, you want the whole fucking timeline?
Oh, sure. Yeah, why not?
So I started. I'd always worked in factories
Yeah.
until I wasn't working.
Okay.
I ended up becoming friends with somebody who owned a machine shop, and he asked me if I wanted to come work there. I
Okay.
said, sure. So I worked there for a year, maybe. Left there, went to another place, went to another place, went to another place. All those were either fired or whatever.
Different machine shops.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I ended up going someplace where they put me through my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of like, all right, I guess this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just
Sure.
going to be a machinist.
Yeah.
And then through a couple more jobs, I ended up at a big manufacturing facility that paid really well.
Yeah.
Became friends with one of the manufacturing engineers, and he created a special position for me because I happened to know the control on a new machine that they bought. So I was able to program it. And
Gotcha.
he's like, hey, I think we have something for you. And that just led into project work.
Sure.
Bada boom, bada bing. Now I'm selling steaks.
Weird. It's weird how it all worked out.